The 8-3 Raiders, Coach Glazer's team, off to a good start to the 25-26 season. And we are underway, and it's Ariana Pryor that'll start up the offense for this Oakland Community College offense that has been a good one so far in the year. As I mentioned, 10-1 on the year for this squad. Left wing, it's Cassie Kraus with the basketball swing to the left-hand side on a drive from Ariana Pryor. The freshman guard will put that one out of bounds, and off the good pressure, we will see the Raiders start up. Wozniak along with Belton, Picarazzi, Piat, and Day, the starting unit for GRCC. Coach Sirasevich is willing to go pretty deep into his rotation often. You see right away as they'll set up the press, he is going to take Pryor off the floor, who just committed that turnover a moment ago. Raiders beat the pressure. Harmony Belton over the half-court line will give it back. And a held ball. We'll keep the possession down on this side of the floor as Wozniak was down in the fight on that one. Wozniak along with Belton, Starling, Tiana Day, a couple in that starting lineup, all coming from East Kentwood, a dominant program out of the OK Red, and of course have put together some good work for the Raiders. Out of the corner, a triple try is off the mark as Tiana Day was looking for her first points of the game. Both teams showing some full court pressure on the defensive side of the floor as Daphne Brown, 4.4 assists on the year. She does lead the Owls in that regard. Had the ball up the floor. A handoff off the drive and swatted away by Avery Piat down low. It'll stay on this side of the floor. First minute just about gone. No one has scored yet as we're just getting underway. From again, a couple of games we'll have for you this afternoon from Ford Fieldhouse as the Raiders have been hosting a lot of basketball. 4 more games coming up tomorrow as well. Triple out of the corner will fall off the mark for Jalen Zachary, and with some tempo, here come the Raiders. Out of the corner, Belton tries a 3. Can't draw first blood on that one, but a foul from behind on Wozniak will be the first whistle for a foul of the ball game. Coach Glazer in his 10th season for the Raiders. They'll be setting up some 1-2-2 pressure here. Zachary able to get it over the half-court line to Riley. Back here for Jalen Zachary. Off the drive over top of Piat. Unable to get the rattle. And the rebound is ripped down by Tiana Day, who's got a couple of boards early already. Day for Wozniak. Corner, Belton tries a 3 back from that spot, and she's got that one pure. First points of the game for anybody, and it goes right down for Harmony Belton. Belton will knock down her second 3-point attempt of the game. Wozniak on the floor, putting the effort in, winds up in the hands with Jalen Zachary out of the corner. A long 2 falls off the mark for Adriana LeBeau. And Riley's able to clean it up, finish, and get the contact down low and have a chance to tie the game. Riley grabs the first rebound of the game, gets a couple points, and now we'll go to the stripe. Ashley Riley, freshman forward, scoring 3.3 points per game on the season. That foul number 1 for Belton. And the game is knotted up. So a 3-point play at the line off the good work down low from Riley. Diamond in 1 trap here. Both teams applying a lot of full court pressure. Raiders able to nicely beat it, and it winds up in the hands of Wozniak. Swings here for Belton. Get the triple on the last possession. Tiana Day swings. Belton, space, tries another 3. Missed it all. The board falls straight in the hands of LeBeau, who's off and running. And she will go over and back. Some nice pressure right there from Avery Piat. Able to force another turnover, and Coach Sirasevich will go back to his bench and sub on Emily May for the first time, a freshman guard. .738 to go, and a 3-1 game, or 3-3 game. Tiana Day out of the paint for Wozniak. Jabs to the corner against some pressure. Off the ball fake, a triple, and that one is pure. This time it's Emma Picarazzi, the Grand Rapids Catholic Central graduate able to bury another triple. 2 have gone down now for the Raiders from deep, and they've taken the lead back and have doubled things back up 6-3. Good start, and active hands from Avery Piat will take away another possession. Wozniak down, can't finish, and the board's ripped in here by Ashley Riley. Raiders forced a turnover, can't get the points out of it, and Oakton's back to work quickly. The other way, out of the corner. The triple falls short for Jalen Zachary, and the rebound gets taken straight in by Piat. Piat averaging 6 rebounds a game on the season. Been active at doing that. Had the steal a minute ago as well. Here's the drive. Triple for Tiana Day, looking for the third make of the game there. Can't get it to go, but Picarazzi down to the rebound. And a second chance that won't fall. Into the hands of Daphne Brown. Brown, coast to coast. 6:20 to go, first quarter. Owls swing it against the zone and bury the triple. Another answer right back. That was Jalen Zachary on the 3, and the Raiders will get trapped up and able to find over the half-court line to Piat. Harmony Belton hit the first triple of the ball game. Throws to the corner, on for Tiana Day. Belton 1 of 3 from behind the arc, tries one more. Now 1 of 4, and the game remains knotted at 6 inside. 6 minutes to go in the first frame. Brown drops on for the driving Riley down low. The board is tracked in by Piat. With some tempo down the floor, able to find Harmony Belton, and Belton, just like that, puts the Raiders back on top. They'll get right back in to that three-quarter court press. Nice dump off onto Riley. Great defense at the bucket, and the Raiders will push, and Tiana Day gets fouled. 5:13 to go in the first. Grand Rapids Community College leading it early. Oakton right now they'll make some subs, leading the rebound battle. Actually, after that last one, rebound battle all knotted at 6 right now between the two squads. A couple of assists for Grand Rapids Community College on their buckets. GRCC 3 of 10 overall shooting, 2 of 8 from the field for the Owls. Tiana Day up top. Swings to Belton. Coach Glazer's not gone to his bench so far. Day, nice reaching pass. Piat going to work, can't get the finish, reaching around Kate Gilroy, who's freshly back on the floor, but the follow is there. Working down low by Picarazzi, who was able to knock down the triple earlier. Now she is able to get the second chance and do it all herself down low. 4-point lead for GRCC, the first 2-score lead they've had in the contest. Baseline drive, falls off the mark for Brown, and here comes Belton, coast to coast, swatted at the bucket by Cassie Kraus. Up top, the lefty trying the triple. That one falls off the mark for Brown. And off the tie-up, the alternating possession will stay down on this end of the floor. 4:16 to go in the first. 10-6 is the GRCC lead. And we got a timeout on the floor. First of the game. 4:16 remaining, 10-6 GRCC. Raiders right now shooting 4 of 13 from the field, 2 of 9 from the field for Oakton. GRCC leads the rebound battle 8-7. Just past the first half of the first quarter. Belton and Picarazzi have done all the scoring. They each have 5 for GRCC, and Zachary and Riley have done the scoring, each with 3 for the Owls. Raiders have now gone a little bit of a slump. They have only made 1 of their last 4. Those have all come attempts from deep, 1 of the last 4. And for the Owls, they are 1 of their last 5, also 1 of their last 5 from behind the 3-point arc. 5 rebounds early for Cassie Kraus, doing good work for Oakton down low. She's got 5 boards, and it's Picarazzi who, along with leading the team, is 2 of 2 from the field scoring for the Raiders, also has come up with 4 rebounds. Out of the break, it'll be the Owls getting to keep the ball along the baseline. Turnaround shot is pure for Kate Gilroy as they're able to work a good move down low. And the sophomore center is able to hook that one in. 4 minutes to go in the first and a 2-point lead for the Raiders. Piccarazzi out of the corner for Tiana Day. In the wing. First time on the ball for DePegter, the Byron Center graduate. Off the mark as she tries to drive inside, and here goes LeBeau up the middle of the floor. Gets picked up by DePegter up top. On the handoff for Daphne Brown. Wozniak on the floor. Ball went through the hands of Gilroy, and the Raiders push all the way down to Tiana Day. Maybe a little too hot to handle off the feed down low from Belton. And with some speed, it's going to be LeBeau attacking back the other way. Lobs down low. They're going to try to go to Gilroy again. Over top of Piccarazzi. Can't get the finish. Board sticking with Oakton, and a travel from Daphne Brown will turn the ball over, and GRCC will take it back over. Again, Brown, 4.4 assists per game on the season, does lead the Owls in that regard. So you'll see her on the ball a lot, of course, for that squad. A balanced team in terms of the assist game. Wozniak with 2.7 leads the team, but Belton puts up 2.3 for the Raiders as well. It's been a balanced offense, and we've seen that throughout the year and throughout this game so far for the Raiders. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. They lead it by a couple. Wozniak off the drive. The floater can't get the rattle. Able to fight for her own rebound. Up top for DePegter. Belton with some space. Tries another triple. Misses that one short. She's now 1 of 5 from behind the arc and on the floor. LeBeau is able to track in the rebound. Owls running with Daphne Brown. Backs it out here against Belton. Swung on for Jalen Zachary. Off the handoff for Kraus. Kraus drives on DePegter. Able to skip it off a nice feed and a nice drive. LeBeau gets her first finish of the game, and we're tied right back up at 10, down to the final 2:15. Piccarazzi tries another three. That one is strong. Rebound tracked straight in, though, by Tiana Day. From the free throw line, keeps the possession going. And the Owls, off the second chance miss, will take it back over. Raiders now scoreless in the last 2:44 of the game after they got out to a couple score lead a moment ago. Down the lane, a drive from Brown, and one more coming up. Nope, she traveled on her way to the cup. And the Raiders will take it back over as Brown turns that one over and will take a seat because of it. Teams keeping up the full court pressure. Will start as more of a diamond-in-one trap, turning into this 2-2-1 variety now. The Raiders have been able to pretty easily beat for Oakton so far, against Oakton so far. Wozniak keeps the possession going into the corner. Will get locked up as she picks up the ball by Cassie Kraus and feeds one that's tipped out. Raiders will get a chance to reset the offense with 1:35 in the first quarter, and they got 15 seconds to work here on the shot clock. Raiders 4 of 9 shooting, 4 of 13 shooting for Oakton early. Inbound to Piccarazzi, nearly taken away by Gilroy, and eventually it is taken out of there by the Owls. Back on the floor. Wozniak rips it straight, or Belton, I should say, rips it straight away for Wozniak. Good feed on a Piccarazzi. Up top to Pagter's got plenty of room and buries that one. And the Raiders are able to beat their break their 3.5-minute scoreless drought and go back on top 13-10. Wozniak got a hand on that one, but leaning away from it all, Riley is able to push it over the half-court line, stolen away. Again, the pressure able to get in there. It's Allison Rockburn, the freshman out of Belding, lifting it on for DePegter, who's got back-to-back buckets, and it's back up to a 5-point Raider lead. Riley, free throw line, pull up with 51, and in transition, the scoring is there for Oakton. They're back down a score with 46 seconds to go. Belton, Piccarazzi, and DePegter all with 5 right now. Balanced scoring between those three. DePegter was nearly stripped of the basketball by Pryor. Is able to skip it out for Belton. No look to the corner. A triple will fall short from Wozniak in the wing. 26 seconds to go and a foul. Just our 4th overall of the game will get called on DePegter. That's the 3rd of the quarter on the Raiders. 15-12 GRCC hosting the end of the 3rd of 4 games here, ending in a doubleheader featuring the Raiders. Of course, back with a lot more action tomorrow afternoon. 2-2-1 trap beaten into the wing with Ariana Pryor. Turn shot down low is good for Anna Prim, her first points of the game, and it's a 1-point game down to the final 10 seconds. Here comes Belton looking to do it herself and is able to beat the pressure on her own. No look, Picarazzi with a ton of room, can't bury that one. Straight into DePegter, and at the buzzer, just can't get the rattle, and that'll do it for the first quarter. 15-14, good action so far as GRCC is looking to pick up a win at home against a good Oakton team who comes in 10-1 on the season. Take a look back at some first quarter stats. Of course, 15-14, the Raider lead after one. They are 6 of 23 as a team from the field. Oakton 6 of 15. A trio of scorers for GRCC, Belton, Picarazzi, and DePegter, each with 5 points. Riley leading all scorers for Oakton with 5, and then Zachary, LeBeau, Prim, and Gilroy all had 2 points for Coach Sirasevich's squad. Raiders only committed 1 turnover. Talk about some of the pressure that we were mentioning a bit on. Only 1 turnover committed by GRCC in that first quarter versus 8 for Oakton. So a 1-point game despite an 8-1 turnover difference between the two teams. We'll see if GRCC is going to be able to keep up that kind of pressure. And on the other side of things, if the Owls are going to be able to control the basketball a little bit more in the second quarter of play, because so far the pressure from the Raiders has been pretty effective against them. (13-10) rebounding advantage for Oakton as we're ready to go with the second quarter. 10 fresh minutes will go up on the board, and the Raiders will get the ball out of this break. Allison Rockburn, freshman out of Belding, will be the one that'll get ready to throw it in. Rockburn, 1 assist and 1 steal. Of course, there's a nice assist down the floor to the second bucket for DePegter. Moni Belton has not left the floor so far. Swings to the wing for DePegter. Picarazzi, DePegter against a couple of defenders. Rattles out on that triple. She now is 2 of 5 shooting and 1 of 2 from behind the three-point arc. Ariana Pryor watched by DePegter. Triple is on the way, and wedges for Jalen Zachary. Raiders will take the ball. Will stay with down on this end of the floor with Oakton. 9.5 to go in the second quarter. That is correct, as they'll now move the possession to the left baseline. From the post, turning here is Anna Prim. Riley out of the corner, back to Prim at the block. Turning it, Skuneman. Drive and a finish off the bounce. Ariana Pryor, nice work there. Drive into the bucket for her first points of the game. And the Owls have taken the lead, coast to coast. A quick answer that will send Allison Rockburn to the line and look to give GRCC the advantage right back at the stripe. Foul is the first of the game on Prim. Raiders now 1 of their last 8 from the field and also 1 of their last 8 from 3, but they've tied the game back up as Rockburn gets on the scoring sheet for the first time. Rockburn now 1 point, 1 assist, 1 steal, looking for a couple points, looking for the lead back, and is able to do just that pure at the line. And once again, there's the pressure showing up as the Raiders will force the 9th turnover of the game by the Owls. That has been one thing that Coach Glazer's team's done a terrific job, of course, so far in the game, and it does continue into the second quarter. It will be Belton to run the offense. Belton, 2 of 7 shooting, has a steal, 5 points in the game. Picarazzi down low. Second chance, can't score that one either over top of Kraus, and it will be Kraus running this one out. Kraus attacking coast to coast, reaching, unable to score around Rockburn. Second chance, Riley, not there, and On a third chance down low, she'll be able to draw the contact and go to the line. So not a ton of work at the line back in the first quarter. Now, off the Belton foul, her second of the game, will get free throws and back-to-back possessions as now it's going to send Ashley Riley, the freshman forward, to the line. Riley, 5 points, the leading scorer for Oakton. And with a chance to try to take the lead back here, Tiana Day will check in for Harmony Belton, who will get her first break of the ball game for Coach Glazer.
2 free throws for Riley.
Riley pure on the first. 4 rebounds to go along now with 6 points. Been one of the leaders coming out of that starting lineup for Oakton so far, and buries them both, and it'll go back the other way, and the lead will swing back the other way as well.
There was a lane violation on that last.
Actually, they'll say there was a lane violation on the second free throw, so take that one off the board, and the game will remain tied at 17 with 8:34 remaining in the second. Rockburn off the drive will draw the contact off that handoff on driving Hardiman, and that will send Hardiman here to the line. Second foul of the game on Prim, and Tatiana Hardiman will give the lead back to the Raiders. Hardiman, sophomore out of Wyoming, scoring 3.5 points per game on the season, has come right in and has given the lead back to the Raiders. And she's able to go 2 of 2 at the stripe. Raiders bringing the pressure back here in the backcourt. A little bit of contact is forced all the way back on the hand. It was LeBeau, able to get it to Riley, who will travel, unable to keep her feet off the pitch to the front court. And there's another turnover forced. That, the 10th of the game, forced by the Raiders defense, which has been really effective out of that trap. Tiana Day will slow the pace a bit here. DePater has the lane jumped by Riley. And this one's going to go Oakton's way, last off of DePater. So back-to-back turnovers. That one the second of the game, turned over by the Raiders, and the Owls get the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. Zachary on the handoff for LeBeau, and unable to get the touch. DePater tracking down the rebound, 1 against 3, but LeBeau takes it back away, and off a little bit of a sloppy exchange, it's finished up down low by Bodette. Freshman with her first couple points of the game, and we're all knotted with 7:40 remaining in the first half. Tiana Day stepping back there in the wing. Nice feed down low. Hardiman will go back to the line. Great work with the ball fake, and then a nice feed down low from Allison Rockburn, who's done some good work coming off the bench. Same can be said for Hardiman. Hit a couple of free throws earlier. Now immediately draws the contact through the finish and will go to the line with a chance to add one more at the stripe. And Hardiman, despite not even quite up to 2 minutes of time on the floor, the chance to tie the team's lead, become their fourth scorer with 5 points. Commentators curse, but the rebound is tracked down to the corner. The possession continues. DePater all alone in the wing, looking to stretch the lead. Can't do it there. Board down into the hands of LeBeau. 11 versus 11 with Rockburn all over her. Jalen Zachary, sophomore, driving on Tiana Day. Inside 7 to go in the first half. Off the drive, Kate Gilroy. Hand it off. Fed to the block. Turnaround shot off the side of the backboard there for Bodette. And a follow-up is there and is down and good for Prim. We're tied right back up at 21. Offensive rebounds right now have been a little bit of an issue for the Raiders. Seen a couple of these extended possessions And now a turnover from GRCC. They get going a little bit too quickly, and the Owls have got a chance to take the lead on this possession. It's LeBeau up the floor. Jalen Zachary driving on DePegter will lock her up and bounce to the corner. Off the Euro, missing short, and Day will watch that one go out. And with 6 minutes to go, all knotted still at 21. The Raiders take it back over. Rebound advantage, wanted to go back to that point, 22-12, plus 10 for Oakton right now. Offensive rebounds, they have 9 to the Raiders 6. 13-7, their advantage on the defensive end, but the rebound advantage, now actually that's updated to 22-13, but regardless, it's a plus 9 rebound advantage for the Oakton Owls right now. Made the long trip from north of Chicago. And the loss of a handle will again turn the basketball over here for Rockburn and the Raiders. Nice feed, weaving through traffic, and the finish with the left hand down low is there for Zachary. 5.5 to go in the second. The Owls have taken the lead back. Rockburn, nice skip feed. Day looking for the lead out of the corner. That one is strong on the low driver, and there's going to be some speed here coming for Daphne Brown. Looking to go coast to coast, turned off the block by Schooneman. And the Raiders will take it as that one's punched out of bounds off the deflected shot for Gilroy. Wozniak back in to run the Raider offense. Wozniak 0 of 4 shooting, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 1 steal, as the starting point guard will get this one into Tiana Day. Closing in on the halfway point of the second quarter. Oakton by a couple. Day out of the trap, able to escape past that one. Over for Piat. It ends in another turnover as it's taken away by Daphne Brown. Bit of a role reversal right now. Some of the pressure in the half court getting upped, and the Raiders getting a little bit sloppy on some of these possessions. A Euro and a drive, good defense down low. Will be able to deflect the ball and go back the other way. Here with Schooneman. Drops it for Wozniak, able to find it, falling down to the floor on for Hardiman. Hardiman out of the trap. Swings, Schooneman, triple, missed it all short. And the Owls take it. 4:21 to go in the second. Raiders now scoreless and over the last 2:42. And a media timeout will get whistled with 4:21 remaining in the first half. A back and forth contest that Oakton has come from behind now to take the lead. Riley leading all scorers with 6 and leading the Owls to a 4 scoring, shooting to get to the 6. And then as we've kind of been mentioning, it's been some balanced scoring. 5 points for Belton, Picarazzi, and DePegter. All 4 GRCC added 4 more for Hardiman for their leading scoring output, but now scoreless in nearly the last 3 minutes, and 1 of their last 11 from the field and 1 of their last 11 from 3 are the Raiders. It's been a little bit of some low scoring for everyone, though. 1 of 6 their last from the field, along with 1 of 6 their last from 3 for Oakton right now. The rebound advantage, 23-16 for OCC over GRCC, and the turnovers 11-5, as after only committing 1 turnover in the first quarter, we've seen the pressure upped, and the Raiders have turned the ball over a couple more times in the second frame of play. Been a bit of a sloppy game, and defense definitely taking over right now. Raiders as a team 7 of 30 from the field and 3 of 16 from deep. Oakton is 10 of 29 from the field. They are 1 of 6 from behind the 3-point arc. They have definitely not gone to 3 near as much as the Raiders, who have been leaning on over half their shot selection coming from behind the 3-point arc and kind of struggling there, only shooting 18% from the field, or from 3. Sophomore center, Gilroy with it, watched by Hardiman. Dropped around for LeBeau. LeBeau drives on Day, draws the contact, and is able to get it to fall. One more coming up at the line. LeBeau now 4 points in the game on 2 of 4 shooting and has also tracked in 7 rebounds. That's the high mark for anyone on the floor coming for the guard here. Lead will remain 25-21. Raiders have been scoreless for well over the last 3 minutes, trying to find something right now offensively. Tiana Day will give and get it back out of the corner. Cross for Wozniak off the lead. She's been held scoreless so far. Good feed down low for Hardiman, who's been doing some good work after she's coming off the bench, and Hardiman now leads all Raiders scorers with 6, and they're back within a score with 3:24 to go. Off the drive, Brown is short. Wozniak down to the board, and the Raiders are running with a chance to tie or take the lead here. 3 minutes to go, and active hands will rip the ball straight away. Dropped off here for Brown off the steal from LeBeau. Second chance, fighting for another rebound is LeBeau. Got that one, sent down to the floor. A whole bunch of contact now on Hardiman. And we'll see how this one gets sorted out. Physical game down low, especially on that end of the floor where Oakton has been able to rebound the basketball so effectively, leading that rebound advantage 25-19 here. And on the offensive boards, they've grabbed 10 of them. Good feed, Tiana Day gives it back out for Schooneman, and she is unable to knock down the triple there. Freshman out of Cedar Springs. Spinning drive, another turnover. 12th of the game, and then it's turned right back over off the travel from Piat. DePager will check in for Schooneman here. And both Kraus and Riley will come in for Coach Sirasevich and the Owls. And they'll have the ball underneath the offensive hoop with the 2-point lead with a little over 2:20 remaining. Feed up top with space. The triple is down and good for LeBeau. Starting to find her scoring stretch as well. Now leads the team with 7 to go along with 8 rebounds and a steal. LeBeau's been terrific, especially in the second quarter on both ends of the floor. The lead is 5 for the Owls. Wozniak tries to do it herself, can't hit it, and it's Daphne Brown racing back the other way. Brown drives on Hardiman. And will feed it on again for LeBeau. Riley turning at the line. Back for LeBeau. Brown versus Hardiman here. Around the screen with a long 2, and that one's pure. Now Oakton starting to fill up the cup a little bit. It's 30-23 with 97 seconds to go in the first half. Quick triple, fresh off the bench. DePager will not fall. Raiders now 1 of their last 13 from deep. And they'll get the ball off the 13th turnover of the game by the Owls. Allison Rockburn checks back into the floor for Piat here. Down to 1:20. Rockburn drops for Wozniak, still looking for her first points of the game. Day off the jab with a long 2 from the corner. Can't get the rattle there. Good rebound. Wozniak and is able to get the points off the hard work down low. Lead is back down to 5 as the Raiders are able to break a 2:50 scoreless drought. Final minute of the first half. 5-point lead for Oakton. Bounding in off the drive and a whistle as Cassie Kraus was taking it hard to the bucket. And she'll get to go to the line as well. 3 fouls on either team. And that the first whistle on Hardiman. Kraus off the mark on the first. She is 0 of 2 from the field, but has been doing a lot of everything else. Leads the team with 3 assists and 3 blocks, and is also added in 5 rebounds. So doing the little things, but unable to add to the lead at the stripe with 40 seconds now to go in the first half. There's Wozniak off her first bucket on the last possession. Rockburn out of the corner, out of the wing. Dropping for DePegter off the spin, and a timeout from Coach Glazer. Not happy with how that possession was setting up. 30 seconds to go, and it'll be a quick 30-second timeout to discuss the possession here for the 10th-year coach of the Raiders with his squad. GRCC's been able to get a lot of shots up in the first half. They've fired 37 up. They've hit only 9 of them, though. The offense has been a bit of a struggle for both teams, but especially the Raiders. They've also only been 3 of 18 from the field, so 24% overall from the field for Grand Rapids Community College. Oakton College is 37% right now from the field. And I mean, the difference in the three-point discrepancy, they're 2 of 7 from the field versus 3 of 18 for the Raiders, who have leaned on the 3 ball typically, and of course today as well, and right now kind of just struggling to get it to fall. Oakton will up the pressure off the inbound, out of the reach of DePegter, and despite the timeout, they'll turn it straight over, and it's going to give Daphne Brown a chance to race to the other side of the floor with a nice feed off the drive, and it will not fall there for Van Noy, and here comes the Raiders with Wozniak. Final 14 seconds. DePegter with 8. Looking for Rockburn. Comes back to DePegter, and a quick whistle on the tie-up will, to the final 4 seconds, give it back to Oakton. A couple of possessions to finish the first half, but I think the Raiders certainly will want back with some of their offensive struggles. In a good position, only down a couple of possessions right now. Daphne Brown, final 3 seconds. Able to split the pressure, and Brown will heave, and that will send us to the break. Looked good most of the way. Oakton leads at 30-25 at the break. A spirited back and forth one so far, with the Owls 13 of 36 from the field, leading the way, 9 of 37 from the field for the Raiders. Hardiman leading Grand Rapids CC in scoring with 6, and it is Ariana LeBeau with 7, along with 9 rebounds, the leading rebounder for either team as well, leading the way offensively for the Owls. Step aside, about 15 minutes here. Both teams will chat about things, and we'll be back for the second half from Hunsberger Arena and the Ford Fieldhouse. You are tuned in to Grand Rapids Community College women's basketball on the GRCC Athletics YouTube page. We'll be back with the second half action in a couple minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody, to downtown Grand Rapids and Ford Fieldhouse. Oakton and GRCC women getting ready for the second half. Nate Dreyer with you this afternoon as both teams are working through their warm-ups. We got about a minute to go until we head into the second half. 5-point lead at the break for Oakton, led by Ariana LeBeau. They are in scoring. She's got 7 points along with 9 rebounds. So doing some good work all over. And it's right now Tatiana Hardiman with 6, leading the way off the bench. Some really good minutes that she came into that second quarter for GRCC, and some balanced scoring behind that. Belton, Picarazzi, and DePachter all had 5. Interestingly, both DePachter and Hardiman, 2 of the leading scorers coming off the bench for the Raiders this afternoon. Rebounding gap closed a little bit in that second quarter as Oakton currently leads that 28-22 offensive rebounding gap, closing a bit as well. 10 offensive rebounds for the Owls and 8 for GRCC. Take a look at those turnovers. That one of the big stories of that second quarter is the Raiders committed 8 turnovers in the second quarter after they only turned the ball over once in the first. So the overall turnovers, Oakton has turned it over 13 times. The Raiders have turned it over 9 times in the game. Points in the paint battle going advantage Owls 16-12. And we've been keeping an eye on that 3-point battle because that's been something that's been a big difference in terms of the style of both teams. Only 7 attempts from behind the arc for Oakton. They made 2 of them. 18 attempts from behind the arc. Only made 3 for GRCC. And right now, the Raiders are only 1 of their last 13 from the field and 1 of their last 13 from 3. The offense had a bit of a stumbling block down the stretch in the second quarter. We'll see if Coach Glazer's team will be able to sort that out as we go to the second half. A fresh 10 minutes, and it will be the Raiders getting the ball to start this second half. It'll be Belton, 2 of 7 shooting, and 1 of 5 from behind the arc. They'll be putting it in for Wozniak, who was able to finally get some of her first points at the end of that second quarter. See if all of the offense may have a chance to get rolling a bit more for GRCC as we are rolling for the second half this afternoon. Men's game also will follow it up here on the GRCC Athletics YouTube page as we wrap up 4 games today. A bunch of more action tomorrow also coming up as a pocket is picked, and that storyline right away off the intercepted pass of the turnovers from GRCC becoming a factor. A shot in transition will rattle off the mark for Pryor, and then it's cleaned up down low. And the lead stretches to 7. Day, quick trigger over top of Riley out of the corner, will not fall. Tiana Day still looking for her first points of the game now, 0 of 7 and 0 of 3 from behind the arc. And this is going to keep the ball down low. It'll be Day to throw it in off the first foul of the game on Daphne Brown. Day into Piat, swung for Wozniak in the wing. Piat at the line, stripped the ball, and another turnover to start the half. And the Owls are running out to Brown in transition. Stopped up here by Wozniak. She'll put the moves on. Reaching pass for Riley. Drops it off the turn. A good move from Pryor, but just can't get free and winds up double dribbling out of it off the nice handoff. 8:54 to go in the third, 32-25. And LeBeau will check in right away off the bench. Interesting that the leading scorers, both LeBeau and Hardiman for each team, came off the bench in this game. Nice dump on for Piat. Can't score that one, reaching around Riley. And the Owls are running again. Daphne Brown leads the team in assists on the season. Has 1 so far, and some nice ball movement will get Riley free and stretch that Owls lead a little bit more. Oakton kind of rolling right now. They now lead it by 9, their largest and anyone's largest lead of the game, working out of this 2-3 half-court zone that's caused some issues. Good swing over to Wozniak, has some space, shoots over top of the zone but can't score it. Will tie up looking for the rebound, but it's ripped on, and there's numbers back the other way. A pass a little too hot to handle, out of the reach of the streaking LeBeau. Will give the ball back out to the Raiders with 8:09 to go in the third. Ronnie Belton one of a trio of Raiders scorers right now sitting at 5 points, including Picarazzi, who had the ball. Lifts to the corner. The lefty, Wozniak, tries the triple. Belton able to race to the rebound and keep the possession alive for a moment before it is another turnover for the Raiders. It's been a storyline throughout the second and now especially the third quarters. They've been giving away some possessions, and that is their 12th turnover of the game. A bit of a sloppy game overall. In the first quarter, it was Oakton turning the ball over a little bit more balanced in that regard in the second, and so far it's been the Raiders against this zone in the half court that have been struggling a bit to keep possession of the ball and get some clean looks out of it. Riley swings to the wing for Jalen Zachary. Tries the pull-up and buries it over top of Wozniak, and the lead is in double digits for the first time today. Owls have come out very nicely in the second half, and they'll set up this 2-3 half-court zone again for Belton to work against. Tiana Day. Belton trying to feed that one on to Piat, and it's another turnover. And with some pace, here come the Owls. Brown weaving against the trees. Nice dump-off pass, and Riley through some hard contact will go to the stripe as Picarazzi will pick up the second foul of the quarter. Now one on either team. First foul on Picarazzi of the game. Some hard contact right there for Riley, settling in a little bit. Wozniak will take a seat.
At the line, Riley shooting 2 for the Owls.
Riley can't get the rattle of the first at the line. She is the leading scorer for the Owls, 3 of 5 from the field, and that was her first missed free throw of the game, was 2 of 2 before that. And unable to hit either. Rebound is ripped down out of there by Piat. Skill throw at the freshman out of Thornapple Kellogg has joined the attack for the first time this afternoon as Wozniak went back to the bench. Tiana Day for Piat will drive on Brown. All the way over for Belton, who's short on that triple. Now 1 of 6 from deep is Belton. Been a story for the whole team, struggling from deep. They are now 3 of 23 as a team from behind the arc. A steal fresh on the floor. Skill throw making a nice play. Second whistle of the quarter on the Owls. That one goes on Jalen Zachary. That's her second of the game. Coach Glazer, who didn't rotate a ton if you go back to the first half, has certainly been going a lot deeper to begin this third quarter and trying to find the right mix against this half-court zone that the Raiders have been really struggling with. Block there from Anna Prim on the skill throw shot. It'll stay down low with GRCC. 6:10 to go in the third, 36-25. The Raiders have not scored in the second half and now are 1 of their last 17 from the field, and they're also 1 of their last 17 from 3. Tiana Day off the roll. Falls short on that one now. 1 of their last 18 from the field. Hand off for Daphne Brown. Brown over for LeBeau, able to at the post to feed Prim. A hesitation and a nice score over top of Piat. Been all Oakton in the second half. Ball escapes Trinity Starling, is able to regather. Starling will take it strong to the cup, and getting her first minutes of the game in the third quarter will immediately get a chance to go to the line. A lot more fouls in the second half as well. That's the third team foul on Oakton. Neither team has really been sniffed the bonus so far. That is foul 3 on Anna Prim, who will stay out there for the time being, but up from the bench looks like Kate Gilroy set to check in off that third foul. Starling unable to hit either of them, and racing to the rebound is LeBeau. who's got 12 boards off the bench now for Oakton. They'll be able to keep the possession as Gilroy now will get checked in for Prim. Impressed though by the guard LeBeau. 7 points, that's second on the team. 3 of 6 shooting, efficient, and then as I mentioned, 12 rebounds in 18 minutes for LeBeau, and she'll have it here over the half-court line and draw the contact as well from Piat. Second whistle of the quarter on the Raiders. That is the first foul on Piat. Allison Rockburn will come into the game for Piat. More of a guard-oriented lineup right now for Coach Glazer. For Kraus here. Swings it for Zachary, able to drive around Day and misses from mid-range, and it's another rebound, tracked in but then turned over, trying to save it along the end line by LeBeau. Starling off the trap is able to find the escape pass to Rockburn. Up top, Brown jumps the passing lane, takes it away from Day, and gets 2 points out of it coast to coast. 6 points now for Brown. Couple of steals as she adds that one in. Starling attacking and going back to the line. Missed her first couple at the stripe, but now Trinity Starling, one of a lot of pieces on this GRCC team. They originally hail out of East Kentwood with a chance to make something happen. And before she'll go to the line, we've got a timeout on the floor as Coach Sirasevich will whistle that one in. 40-25, 4:25 to go in the third, and the Raiders have not yet scored in the third quarter as the offense has gone completely quiet. They've been turning the ball over as well, now only with a +2 advantage in that department. 16 turnovers for OCC, and GRCC now has turned the ball over 14 times in the game. The Raiders 9 of 44 from the field, and half of their attempts have come from deep. They are 3 of 22 from 3. Owls, by the way, are 18 of 43 from the field and only 2 of 8 from 3. They have pretty much shied away from shooting the ball from deep after having some issues there. Zachary is 1 of 6 from behind the arc, leading their attempts there. So it's been a post-oriented offense for the Owls, especially as we've seen the lineup kind of shrink a little bit in the second half in terms of more guards out there and the total size for Coach Glazer. And right now the Owls have found a nice advantage taking the ball down low, and not even with a ton of fouls and a ton of chances at the line, they've been effective. And right now they're on a 10-0 run to begin this second half. And dating back to the third quarter, the last 12:43 of game time, it's a 21-4 run for Oakton.
One free throw for Starling.
Starling able to hit the first. We'll have one more as she's got her first point of the game. Starling 2 of 2, did not see the floor in the first half, but has already been able to draw a couple of good fouls in the second half. DePagter will check in here for Tiana Day. Raiders off the made free throw, going to be able to set up their pressure here for the first time in this half, something that they've just not been able to do as they just have been able to get their first points of the second half. Trying to create some havoc. Zachary's got it. Feeds on for Brown, who hesitated and travels before she's able to float that one in. And turnover number 17 of the game by Oakton will give the ball back to the Raiders, who are gaining a little bit of a foothold after they get their first points of the half, able to force the turnover. And now Belton, the offense, will go to work against this swinging zone. Rockburn feeding Starling with a tough dump pass. Floater is good for Belton, able to find a little bit of a soft spot there with some good touch. Belton now with 7 points. She is the leading scorer for the Raiders in the game with 3:52 and less in the third. Brown doing it all herself, straight to the cup, and Daphne Brown off a nice move is able to finish for her 5th and 6th point of the game. The lead is 42-29. DePegter dribbles into the triple and falls short on that one. She now is 1 of 5 from behind the arc. Brown to the final 3.5 minutes of the third quarter. Zachary tries the triple. It's off the mark, but it is unable to be cleaned up by Gilroy. It's another offensive board fest down low, though, for the Owls. They've been able to work that pretty effectively, and they'll get to keep the ball as well, as Rockburn's unable to save that one along the end line. They've got 13 offensive rebounds now down low. Belton got a hand on it. Unable to force the turnover fully, though. Inbound will change here to the sideline, where Cassie Krause will put this one in over top of DePegter. Belton sticking with Brown. Here's Jalen Zachary. Belton will pick her up here. Able to find Van Noy. And that's a shot clock violation. Great defense for the entire possession there. Van Noy winds up dribbling it out, and the Raiders will take it over. Been able to make a couple of buckets, been able to settle into their defense a little bit more, and finding their game here the last few minutes. Starling tries the mid-range and is able to bank it in. Trinity Starling, 4 points, getting all of her minutes in the third quarter, and has been able to come up with some good play. The 1-2-2 trap is back out here. Oakton beats it to Jalen Zachary, immediately trapped up. DePegter will trap it up there along with skill throat, and that will be a held ball that will stay, though, on this end of the floor on the alternating possession. LeBeau and Riley will check in. LeBeau with 7, Riley with 8, the 2 leading scorers for the Owls, both back into the game after they got a rest at the same time. Brown off the drive, stripped of the ball, but able to save the possession. Zachary escape pass for Cassie Krause, drops it for Brown again, drives on DePegter, who got a hand on it. And somehow LeBeau keeps it, but a whistle here. And we got a official timeout and an official substitution that's going to come up here. 2:10 to go in the third, 42-31. The lead is stretched to 11 here for the Owls, but the Raiders, after they were held scoreless for well over the first half of this quarter, have found a little bit more of a groove in the last few minutes. Harmony Belton leading the scoring right now for the Raiders with 7. Hardiman with 6 is next for them, and it's 8 points right now for Riley leading the way, and then 7 for both LeBeau and Zachary. Just balanced scoring all around, 42-31, but not a single player in double digits, and not a single player from that point beyond 8-point scoring right now. So it has been a balanced game if you're going to be able to score the basketball for both of these teams, going deep into the lineup and going deep into their bench as well to find a lot of that scoring. LeBeau and Prim both coming off the bench. They've got 7 and 6 respectively for Oakton. Mentioned Hardiman off the bench with 6, but also 5 off the bench for DePegter in this game for Coach Glazer. So the bench has been pretty solid for both teams and has been a part of what they've needed to do. The pressure been up, the turnovers been all over the place. 18 turnovers committed by the Owls, 14 by GRCC. Points in the paint advantage. That's where we've really been watching the second half, is the Owls, who have only even attempted 9 3-pointers, have really leaned into that. They have a plus 10 advantage, 24-14 in the paint, and it will be the Raiders getting the basketball here. Pegter dribbling into some space. We'll drop it here for Starling along the baseline. That'll get turned over. I think it was LeBeau that got the hand on it first, and Brown's back the other way. Inside 2 minutes to go in the third. Zachary will try the triple, and with that, Jalen Zachary now 1 of 8 from deep, and struggling to find her shot from long range, with the only Owl that's been attempting anything from behind the 3-point arc. DePegter thought about it. Nearly got the ball back, able to be saved there off the tip by Rockburn. And Skillthrow will get a chance to go to the line for a couple.
The Owls, number 21, Cassie Krause, her first, team fifth, 2 shots for Shilthrow.
And Shilthrow is off the mark with the first. That's foul number 1, by the way, on Cassie Krause. 5 on the team, so into the bonus here for the Raiders. Trinity Starling from behind, able to pick the pocket of Riley on that feed, and Starling's got it the other way. Some great third quarter minutes from her and draws some more contact, barreling to the basket. She'll get to go back to the line for her 5th and 6th attempt at the stripe in the third quarter. Out of it, 1:07 to go in the third, 11-point lead for the Owls. They led by 5 going into the break. Oakton has now been held scoreless in their last 2.5 minutes. Starling now 2 of 5 at the line. Has 4 points overall. Has a rebound, has an assist to go along with it. All the minutes come in the third quarter. Now make it 5 points for Starling, and the lead is an even 10. Trap beaten to Zachary. Back to Brown. Pressure picking up a little bit as Cassie Krause has got it back for Brown. Zachary with 52 seconds. We'll try a drive, and a good hand in there from Shilthrow, but a foul. Will be the third of the quarter on the Raiders. That's the first foul on Shilthrow, freshman out of Thornapple Kellogg. Stays with Oakton. Riley with 38 seconds in the quarter. For Brown, who's been putting on some good moves. Only 7 on the shot clock, taken away by DePegter. Maybe some numbers, and here's some pace. On to Belton, able to settle, able to score, and the lead is back down to then single digits, 42-34. Raiders, some good play in the final minutes of the third quarter, closing things back down. They've got the trap out. Brown over the half-court line, tipped by DePegter, might turn to an easy possession down low. Great rallying defense. Trinity Starling rips it out of there. Despite the numbers advantage, the Raiders take it out defensively. Starling put the ball on the floor as it's collapsed into, taken by Brown. Outlet pass up the floor, stolen by DePegter again. And that is how the third quarter ends. The Raiders get it back within single digits with a strong flurry on both ends of the floor to end that third quarter after they struggled and weren't able to score for over the first half of that quarter. And you can kind of put the shoe on the other foot a little bit right now. At the end of 3, Oakton now scoreless in their last 350. They are one of their last 6 from the field. And GRCC is on a 5-0 run right now. Belton, after the last bucket, leads all scorers. She's got 9 on 4 of 10 shooting. Hardiman with 6, and then Starling and DePegter each with 5 for the Raiders. Riley leading Oakton with 7. Zachary's got 7. LeBeau also off the bench has 7. Prim with 6, and Brown with 6. So balanced scoring remains the order of the day. Oakton a 42-34 lead, back down into single digits with a quarter to go. Men's game, remember, between these two as well will be up after this on the GRCC Athletics YouTube page. Thanks for tuning in this afternoon, but still a lot more action coming up. It's been a busy afternoon here at Hunsberger Arena and Ford Fieldhouse, and that's going to continue. Nate Dreyer with you for both halves of this GRCC featured doubleheader to end the day. Final 10 minutes. Raiders get the ball. And it's Belton, their leading scorer. Nice dump. DePager trying to get back on the score sheet. Misses, and a good rebound ripped down by Schilthroat. Able to find Rockburn, who scores through the contact. And the Raiders keep closing things in. Rockburn now with 4 in the game. And she is 2 of 2. Perfect heading to the stripe already. 9:46 to go. That's the first foul on Ashley Riley in the ball game. Pryor will check in for Brown. And the three-point play is good for Rockburn. Lead is down to 5. Pryor over half court. It's going the other way. Belton was down on the floor. He'll make a good play, and a kick ball will give it on to the Raiders. So another turnover. That is the 25th of the game on Oakton. Last couple of minutes, they've been starting to turn the ball over once again like they were back in the first quarter when the Raiders got out to a lead. Rockburn looking for 3 more. Unable to nail that one from deep. Riley settled it down for Kraus. Drop down for Pryor. Pryor trying to split past Belton, and it's out off of Belton. We'll stay with Oakton down low, 9-12 in the fourth. Been really a fascinating turnaround, an 8-0 run right now for GRCC in the last 4:25. They're on a 12-2 run in the last 5.5 minutes. Skip feed down low, swatted by Starling as Pryor tried to take it up strong, and Schilthroat will lead the attack. On to Belton, she gets the easy 2 on the end of it. Coast-to-coast plays by East Kentwood graduates there for the Raiders, and they've got the lead down to 1 possession again. Freshman guard Pryor feeding the corner here for LeBeau. Back to Pryor. Belton will lock her up. Tough flinging shot off the drive will miss for Kraus, but a foul on the fight for the board as Riley again is crashing hard. Been doing a lot of the physical work. Riley leading the Owls in scoring with 8. She's got 7 rebounds to go along with it as well. That is foul number 2 on DePager. 1 on either team in the final quarter. 8:34 to go. Raiders on a 14-2 run the last about 6:15 here. And quite the turnaround for Coach Glazer's team as that one is off the mark for Cassie Kraus. And here comes GRCC. Starling off the fake, feeds Belton. This to tie the ball game. She gets it. Harmony Belton is rolling. She's got 14 now. 6 of 12 from the field. Has her second made 3 of the game. The Raiders have knotted it up. And now they'll force another turnover with the active full court defense on the 10-second violation. Brown will check back in. One of the better ball handlers for Coach Sirasevich's team, and has shown that, and they're going to need some of the help because right now off some made buckets, that pressure getting upped again by GRCC. Oakton's now turned the ball over 26 times. Nice feed from DePager along the baseline. The finish not quite there for Rockburn. Inside 8 minutes to go. Rockburn picking up the pressure on the defensive side of the floor now. Zachary over half court, able to find the leaping Riley. Drop off on to Pryor, straight to the cup, no. Rebound to Trinity Starling. Feed to the corner. Belton swings. DePager has a ton of room. Unselfish basketball. DePager unable to bury that one. DePager now 1 of 7 from behind the arc. Hit her first of the game and has not been able to find the bottom of the basket on the deep shots after that. Tough work down low. Belton got a hand on it, and she's able to strip Pryor of the basketball. And it'll be turned over on the floor by Schilthroat. Nice feed, and Riley will give the lead back to Oakton, and they're going to call a timeout immediately out of it as well to settle the game down. As the Owls have gone back on top, but the Raiders are rolling right now. They were on a 13-0 run, and now a 13-2 run in the last just about 7 minutes of game time. So it's been all GRCC throughout the end of the third and into the fourth quarters. They've come rolling back from a double-digit deficit to have the game tied, now just back down 2 again. $10 points now for Ashley Riley off that bucket. 3 assists for Daphne Brown. Riley leading Owls scorers with 10, and it's Belton with 14 points leading all scorers. She's off to a huge start in the second half in particular. Fourth quarter in particular, been good in the second half in general as well. +9 on the rebound advantage for Oakton, 42-33, but back to the turnover number, which had closed all the way down to a tight deficit. It was Oakton that turned the ball over a ton in the first half, and GRCC closing that gap, making more mistakes in the middle couple of frames. Well, now it's 26 turnovers committed by the Owls and 17 committed by GRCC. So the pressure's been upped, and it's been this tie between every time that the Raiders have had a chance to make buckets, set up the press. They've been able to turn the ball over and turn defense into offense out of that. It's been a game of runs because of the Raiders system, and they'll get the ball down just 2 right here with a chance to try to keep adding on to it, and they'll put the ball into Belton's hands in the backcourt. Belton tries another 3, gets another one. Red hot, 17 points for Harmony. Belton and the Raiders lead it. Zachary was thinking about another deep triple there. DePagter stays with her defensively. Riley down low, leading scorer, has a bit of a size advantage. Can't score over top, but she'll throw it though. Board is taken in by Allison Rockburn. Final 6 minutes, the Raiders have taken the lead. Picarazzi in the wing will drop it for Belton, who's been red hot in this fourth quarter. Now 17 points in the game. DePagter gets free, buries a 3. Second triple of the game for DePagter. Back-to-back triples for the Raiders. Now 6 of 29 from deep in the game, and they lead it by 4. Mid-range pull-up is able to get the rattle for LeBeau. An answer there, as LeBeau's got 9 off the bench. To go along with 12 rebounds, a chance for a double-double. Picarazzi down low to show throat, gets doubled. Had DePagter in the corner, and a held ball was going to send it the other way. 5:15 to go, lead is 2 for GRCC. Both teams will go back to the bench and sub things out a little bit here. Gilroy, Skuneman in for the respective sides. This 1-2-2 trap has certainly been turning up the intensity. Daphne Brown off the feed, trying to split away, and it's Belton getting a hand on it, and here goes Belton again with a nice feed, and that is going to be a hard 2 coming off the line for Allison Rockburn, able to take, or sorry, check that, for Skuneman, able to take the contact, and she'll go to the line. 48-46, we're inside 5 minutes to go.
2 shots for Owen Schumann.
Able to convert them both. The lead stretches to 4. Freshman out of Cedar Springs, Schuneman, good work at the stripe. And the Owls will take it out of it. A 20-4 run right now for the Raiders, dating back over the last nearly 9 minutes. Another turnover will wind up in the hands of Belton, who's been leading this attack with 17 in the game. DePagter looking for another fourth quarter triple, falls short on that attempt. 4.5 minutes to go, past the halfway point of the final frame. Lining up for a classic finish here. Brown around the screen, tries the mid-range, can't get the finish, and the board is taken in by Picarazzi, and it's going to be Belton slowing the pace of the offense again a bit right here. We're down to the final 4:10. Scudeman turns it over straight to Brown. Brown, coast to coast, drives, can't score over top of DePagter, who will track in the rebound. Belton, corner. Hands it off for Picarazzi, the Grand Rapids Catholic Central graduate, with a handoff along the baseline. Scudeman falls off the mark. Final 3:40. Triple from Zachary. Now 1 of 9 is Zachary in the game. 7 points. Have been trying a lot from deep. And a timeout from the Owl bench, and Coach Sirasevich will settle the game with 3:19 to go in the fourth. It's a 30-second timeout, trying to set some things up. The Raiders with a 4-point lead, 28.3% from the field for them. Oakton, 36.2% from the field, and that, of course, doubles back to the turnover difference that we've been really going back to all game long. 28 turnovers for the Owls. The Raiders have turned the ball over 19 times. So when Oakton's been able to finish possessions, they've been really efficient, shooting over 36% versus a sub 29% attack from the field for the Raiders. But just in general, there have been a lot of turnovers that have ended possessions for Oakton. Also from behind the arc, 6 made three-pointers for the Raiders, only 2 for Oakton in the game. Now 6 of 30 from deep for GRCC, who have continued to try to shoot their way out of what's been kind of a game-long funk from deep, but as of right now, doing just enough to come out of here with a win, despite the 3-ball not falling at top level. Only 20% from the field, or from the 3-ball from deep for the Raiders. Brown feeds on to LeBeau, will attack the mid-range and has some nice touch on that one. LeBeau, double-digit scoring and double-digit rebounds. Goes double-double off the bench. Belton leading by 2 with 3 minutes to go. Tiana Day is back out there out of the break. Picarazzi looking to go down low, and some hard contact will draw the 3rd foul of the quarter on the Owls. That goes on Kate Gilroy for her first. Picarazzi fighting through a couple of defenders and gets fouled by LeBeau. Now 4 whistles on the quarter on Oakton, so closing it on the bonus here with 2:51 to go. Raiders looking to overcome a double-digit second half disadvantage. Active hands from Mariana LeBeau will poke it away. And Oakton's got a chance to tie or take the lead now on this possession after the turnover was forced. Zachary will fire up the 3. That one's off the mark. What an effort along the baseline by LeBeau, but saves it into the hands of Belton. Feeds it to DePagter. Transition 3. That's a big one, her second of the fourth quarter. And DePagter will stretch the lead back to 53-48. Belton picks up the assist there. At the line, the sophomore center Gilroy driving, cannot score. And a chance on the second effort from Kraus will eventually tie up down low against Scudeman. It'll stay on the alternating possession with the Raiders. Zachary will check out as Emily May, freshman guard, will come out there. And a timeout. 2:12 in the fourth. Raiders lead it 53-48. GRCC have made 3 of their last 4 from deep. That's a big part of this attack, and what's really finally started to work is they're finally able to knock down some of those triples, especially DePagter, who now has 11 points on 3 of 10 shooting from behind the arc, 4 of 13 overall, but she's been able to hit a couple triples in this fourth quarter to help lead the offense. Of course, it's Belton completely leading the way offensively. She has 17 on 7 of 13 shooting, and how about this for the balanced line besides that? 17 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals for Belton. Also, you can add in a block that she put in as well. A very tough 28 minutes leading the way, has hardly left the floor for Coach Glazer, has Harmony Belton so far. Leading scorer is LeBeau off the bench with 11 points on 5 of 8 shooting for the Owls. She also leads the team in rebounding with 12, so has put in a double-double off the bench in 28 minutes herself. Down inside the final 2 minutes and 12 seconds. Raiders will get the ball out of the break. Diamond in one trap. This is what we used to start the game for Oakton. We'll get set up, and it nearly turns into a turnover, but Belton able to rip away from it. Now there could be numbers. Gilroy got a hand on it to momentarily slow some of the attack. Tiana Day tries the mid-range and splashes that one down. Day has her first point of the game. Now 1 of 9 shooting. She's just been struggling to find her touch throughout the first part of the game. And Coach Sirasevich will whistle in a timeout. 1:52 to go. The Raiders able to beat the trap and get a couple with Tiana Day. They lead it by 7 now. Been a tough day for the redshirt sophomore out of East Kentwood. Day, so much experience on this team, and just hasn't quite been able to find the shot through the first part of the game, but really across the board, the Raiders have really started to find their shot down the stretch offensively, now shooting north of 30% as a team, and they found it right on time. And it's crazy to think for a team that went the first over half of the third quarter completely scoreless. They went down double digits, have been able to put all the pieces together down the stretch, have found a little bit offensively. Also, of course, have been very good on the defensive end, forcing 28 turnovers and 17 steals. Coach Glazer has to be happy with the fight back from his team and their second half performance on both ends of the floor. We'll see if they'll be able to close it out. They lead by 7 inside the final 2 minutes, but a good Oakton team who's only lost once on the season. We'll look for the final fight back here. Emily May, freshman guard, will be getting ready to put it in. Each of the men's teams starting to warm up right now here at Ford Fieldhouse as well. We'll have coverage right back here on the GRCC Athletics YouTube page of that one as well. Nate Dreyer with you this afternoon in downtown Grand Rapids. Thanks for tuning in as we close out games 3 and 4 of the day here of the Selman Classic at Hunsberger Arena. At the block, it's Gilroy off the mark, and Tiana Day rips in the rebound. Second board of the game for Day. She'll run the attack inside 1:35 to go. 7-point lead, chance to slow it, chance to take some time off the clock here. They'll try to get some points out, of course, as well. Pickerazzi, nice feed down low, and the finish is there again for Poet Schuneman. The freshman out of Cedar Springs comes through big down the stretch. A nice feed, a nice turn and finish. The lead is up to 9. The Raiders stretching things late. Gilroy against the double. Cannot score over top of Pickerazzi. She'll get it back there off the good effort from Brown, and this time Pickerazzi's able to track in the rebound. Final 49 seconds. Schuneman had some space to fire that one. Instead, they'll kill some clock here wisely. Inside 42 seconds to go. 15 on the shot clock. Brown all over Belton. 17 points for Belton, looking for 2 more. Can't get the rattle. We're inside the final 30 seconds, and the shot clock is off as Brown's going to go coast to coast with it. Floater is off the mark. Belton tracks in the rebound. The Owls aren't going to foul, and a 10-point second half deficit is overcome by the Raiders, and they're going to pick up another home win and move to 9-3 on the season. This is one of their better wins of the year against a very good team. Oakton loses only their second game this season. A great second half comeback. They do it on both ends of the floor. Belton leading the way as the sophomore puts in 17 points. DePater, next leading scorer for GRCC. She finishes with 11. Hardiman with 6. Starling, Rockburn, Picarazzi all with 5. Tiana Day with 2. And Schooneman with 4 points for Coach Glazer's team. It's LeBeau that'll lead the way in scoring for OCC. She has 11. Riley with 10. Zachary was 6. Zachary was 7. Brown was 6. Pryor with 4. Prim also had 6. And then